It's a scorching hot day here in Charlottesville, Virginia, as the Charlottesville Tom Sox play host to the Harrisonburg Turks. Good evening, everybody, and welcome into the broadcast. I'm Zach Lambert, joined by my broadcast partner for this evening, Dylan Castaigne, and we should be in for a great contest tonight as the Tom Sox coming off a big 15-1 Mercy Rule victory last night over the Stanton Braves. Tonight for the Tom Sox, they'll have Garrett Payne, the Charlottesville native, on the mound, making his first start for the Tom Sox out of NC State. So I'll turn it over to Dylan now. Dylan, what can you tell us about Mr. Payne?
Yeah, Garrett Payne, as you mentioned, coming out of NC State, rising sophomore. He pitched 13.2 innings there in North Carolina to a 5.27 ERA, a little bit high for his first year, but looking to bring that back here in the second half of the season with the Sox. 15 Ks to 9 walks, so not too big of a ratio there, but definitely more than enough time for him to get this season started, and he's looking to do it tonight against the Turks.
And on the other side, it'll be Andres Rodriguez, one of the best pitchers not only for the Turks, but in the entire Valley League so far this season. He'll be towing the rubber. He's 3-1 so far this season, a 2.16 ERA, and he did pitch in the All-Star game. As for the starting lineups, first for the visitors, the Harrisonburg Turks, they'll have Carlos Marte leading off at second. Peyton Crispin, he's in left field, batting second. Logan McNeely will do the catching tonight, batting third. And the cleanup spot, Connor Hartigan in right. Jordan Sweeney's at first base. He'll hit fifth. Robert Curbelo, one of the newest additions to this Harrisonburg Turks team. He's the DH tonight and hits sixth. In the 7-hole, it's Bryce Safrowich at short. And Frederick Walter will hit eighth, play third. And then rounding out the lineup, Clay Lockett. He's in center field tonight. As we mentioned, Andres Rodriguez on the hill. For the Tom Sox, it's Pierce Bennett. He's leading off at third base. Logan Amos in right, batting second. Victor Castillo, the lumberjack, now Tom Sox. He's batting third and left. Adam Cesari at first, batting fourth. And we will have the rest of the lineup and first pitch after the national anthem. We'll be right back. After a beautiful rendition of the national anthem from the Jefferson Land Chorus, Tom Sox are taking the field, and the starting pitcher, Garrett Payne, is warming up for the Sox. So to set the defensive lineup in the infield from third to first. It's Pierce Bennett at third, Cole Foster at short, Eddie Eisert at second. Adam Cesiri is over at first, so Demon Deacons on the corner of the infield. And then in the outfield from left to right, it's Victor Castillo, Braylon Skinner, and Logan Amos. That's from left to right. The battery for today, Garrett Payne, as we mentioned, out of NC State. And then RJ Ochoa, his battery mate behind the dish. And once again, the lineup for the Turks today, it's Carlos Marte, Peyton Crispin, Logan McNeely, Connor Hardigan, Jordan Sweeney, Robert Curbelo, Bryce Safferwich, Frederick Walter, and Clay Lockett. So, Dylan, what are you looking for in today's ballgame?
Yeah, obviously, as you mentioned in the opening, the Sox offense was red hot last night against the Stanton Braves, getting the first Mercy Rule game in valuable Baseball League history, a new rule being implemented after the All-Star game that if a team is winning by 10 or more, after the 7th inning, the game will be called for Mercy Rule. So the offense can't get much hotter than that. The Sox have played really well this season against the Turks, going 5-1 so far. Looking to bring that streak to 6-1 tonight in their second-to-last game against the Turks.
Yeah, they're currently riding a 4-game winning streak against these Harrisonburg Turks. And the Bats, they were out in full force last night, as you mentioned. Tom Sox lodged 3 home runs in 1 inning. That was the 5th inning, and it was only the second time in franchise history that they had 3 home runs in 1 inning. They also had a pinch hit home run from RJ Ochoa. Again, only the second time in franchise history that there's a pinch hit home run. So we're almost ready to go here as Carlos Marte digs in from the right side of the plate for the Harrison Turks. The Turks donning the red jerseys with the white lettering across the front, white numbers on the back, and the gray pants. And Garrett Payne toes the mound in the Tom Sox green jerseys with the blue sleeves, white pants. The windup first pitch is swung on and missed at 7:04. And we are underway.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we'll see from Garrett Payne tonight. Obviously, as you mentioned, a local kid, hasn't made his first start, or this is his first start for the Tom Sox, so exciting atmosphere here at the Crutch tonight.
He stands on the first base side of the rubber. Big leg kick, and the 0-1 is lofted into center field, but that's going to hang up there for Braylon Skinner for the first out of this ball game. So 2 pitches there for Payne and his first out as a Tom Sox. And that'll bring up Peyton Crispin. Crispin, so far this season, is at .216, no home runs, 11 RBIs. This is his 28th ball game, 98 at-bats. So he's been a mainstay in this Turks lineup, and the first pitch to him is cut on and missed. No balls and a strike, and first 3 pitches from Garrett Payne have all been swung on. Bats from the left side of the plate, slightly open stance. Infield and outfield both straight up as the fans file into Crutchfield Park. The 0-1 is another pitch that's swung right through, and it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, as you mentioned, busy crowd here tonight at Crutchfield Park. We were supposed to have a game here on Wednesday against the Covington Lumberjacks, but unfortunately that game had to be canceled, so it's been a few days since we've been here at Crutchfield Park for the Tom Sox fans.
0-2, they tried to get him to chase a fastball upstairs, but no bite from Crispin, and the count runs to a ball and 2 strikes. And yeah, Tom Sox fans are back out tonight at Crutchfield Park, free, courtesy of Carter Bank and Trust, just like every game this season, as the 1-2 is hit on the ground too short. Foster charging, sets his feet, throws across, and it's a little bit low and not dug out by Cesiri. So that's going to be a throwing error on Cole Foster, as it was a low throw, one that Cesiri probably should have handled, but he did not. Regardless, there's a runner aboard and 1 out here for the Turks. I'll bring up Logan McNeely with 1 out.
Yeah, and it looked like Foster had enough time there to set his feet and make a good throw, but just a little bit low, and as you mentioned, Cesiri not able to make the scoop over there at first, so the Turks will have their first base run of the evening.
Tom Sox had 4 errors in the win last night. Already have 1 today. First pitch to McNeely is in the dirt, blocked by Ochoa. A ball and no strikes. For McNeely, he's been one of the better hitters on this Turks team. He's at an even .300 with 1 home run and 9 RBIs through his first 60 at-bats.
Yeah, even more impressive for me is only 5 strikeouts. One thing I've noticed a lot in the VBL is a lot of high strikeout guys, and McNeely is just not one of them this year.
0-1, breaking ball hits the outside corner. Count evens, a ball and a strike. As Cesiri holds on Crispin over at first base with 1 out here in the top of the first. Payne set at the letters, checks the runner, now comes home. And it's another breaking ball and another strike. A ball and 2 strikes now to the 3-hole hitter for the Turks.
Yeah, and if you're Payne here, you might be a little bit distracted, coming in your first start in your home field in Charlottesville. I'm sure he's visited some Tom Sox games before in the past, and that error certainly didn't help, but just got to settle in here and focus on the batter.
Opts for the slide step there and tries to get McNeely to chase the fastball high. He does not. Counts 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Errors, something that have kind of plagued the Tom Sox all season. They've been better as of late. Last night, not so much. They're 7th in the league in fielding percentage at .953 as this one's chopped foul. Looks like it was a dead ball off of McNeely, so the count holds 2 balls and 2 strikes. But Tom Sox have cleaned the errors up a little bit of late. But last night was a step definitely in the wrong direction for them.
Yeah, definitely. But luckily for the Sox, the offense was able to, the Sox defense wasn't carrying them, but the offense was able to back them up, scoring 15 runs. Even with, you'd have to get a lot of errors to mess up a 14-run lead that they had against the Braves the other night.
The 2-2 is lofted out in the air to right field. Amos charging on and puts this one away for the second out of the inning. So 2 soft lineouts so far and 1 error. Has a runner on first base and 2 outs for the cleanup hitter Connor Hardigan here in the top of the first inning. Hardigan out of James Madison. He's at .220 on the season, 3 home runs, 16 RBIs, and even 100 at-bats. Stands in from the right side of the plate. Payne's first pitch to him misses outside, a ball and no strikes.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Hardigan, a couple home runs on the season. That's good enough for tied for second on the team in home runs, and then also has sole possession of second place for RBIs.
Payne checks the runner. Now the 1-0. Slider misses outside. 2 balls and no strikes now. We mentioned the Tom Sox struggles in the field. That has not been the case for the Harrisonburg Turks. They come into today as the best fielding team in the league. At .967, they've only committed 34 errors so far this season. This in their 34th game. So 2-0 is fouled away over towards the Turks dugout on the third base side. Tom Sox setting up shop over on the first base, the bullpen down the right field line. See how long they let Garrett Payne go tonight. See if there's a pitch count on him or what. In his first appearance with the Sox. He comes home now with the 2-1, and it's tapped slowly foul down the third base line. And now it's even 2 balls and 2 strikes on Connor Hardigan. Just underway here at Crutchfield Park. Still scoreless in the top of the first inning. 2 outs, and Peyton Crispin leads off first base. Garrett Payne, mentioned in the open, he's a Charlottesville native. It's 2-2. Swung on, hit right back to him. Fields it, takes a couple steps over to first base, and flips to Ciceri to retire Hardigan. So the Turks get a base runner but strand him. And as we go to the bottom of the first inning, it's the Turks nothing, and the Tom Sox coming to bat. Bottom of the first inning here at Crutchfield Park. The Turks do not score in the top half of the first. Tom Sox coming to bat. Their lineup today will be Pierce Bennett, Logan Amos, Victor Castillo, Adam Ciceri, Eddie Eisert, Wyatt Langford, RJ Ochoa, Cole Foster, and Braylon Skinner to round things out. against Andres Rodriguez, tied for 6th in the Valley League in strikeouts. Doesn't qualify for ERA based on innings pitched. He's one short of the qualification, but if he would qualify, he would have been first among all qualifiers. The defensive lineup for the Turks from first to third. Sweeney's at first, Marte's at second, Safarwich at short, and Walter at third. Crispin, Lockett, and Hardigan the outfield from left to right, with McNeely doing the catching for Rodriguez. Andres Rodriguez was in the All-Star game this season, pitched 1 inning, had 1 strikeout. It's 3-1 with a 2.16 ERA so far in 4 starts. So it'll be Pierce Bennett to get things going for the Tom Sox. Rodriguez winds and deals. The first pitch is swung on and lifted in the air to left field, very shallow. Coming on to play this one is Crispin, and he puts it away harmlessly. 1 pitch, 1 out for Andres Rodriguez. So that'll bring up Logan Amos. Amos has been one of the hottest Tom Sox in the month of July. He's hitting .421 with 5 doubles, 10 RBIs, and 11 runs so far this month. He's up at .309 on the season. Bats from the left side of the plate. Sports the high green socks, and the first pitch to him is at the knees, in there, no balls and a strike.
Yeah, Amos has been a big part of this Tom Sox lineup and how they've been so hot so recently. There was a few games where they struggled coming out of a game where they had 13 games in 13 days, but Amos has been a big part of digging them out of that hole and what has been a really strong season for the Tom Sox offense and just the Tom Sox in general.
He takes the 0-1 in the dirt, a ball and a strike now. Amos, he's good in June, but has really just burst onto the scene in July as one of the best hitters in the Valley League, and he takes a 1-1 fastball over the outer edge. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to the Tom Sox right fielder. Here's the 1-2. That one's bounced up to the plate. Evens count 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Shadows, they usually creep over the third base side, and around the 3rd inning they'll start to make their way over home plate in the pitcher's mound before around the 6th they totally go away. Not really a factor as of yet, but will be a factor very soon. And against a guy like Andres Rodriguez, who's tough enough to hit as it is, should be a struggle for the Tom Sox. And Logan Amos struggles with that pitch as he swings through it and strikes out, swinging for the 2nd out of the inning. And with 2 outs and nobody on, that'll bring up Victor Castillo.
And Castillo, new to the Tom Sox, he was actually a member of the Covington lineup, but due to the remainder of their season getting canceled, he decided to make the short trip over to Charlottesville, and I'm sure Coach Corey Kohler is very excited to have him in his batting lineup.
Yeah, he was really good for Covington. Hit .313 with 3 home runs and 10 RBIs in 28 games, and he takes the first pitch fastball up and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Castillo in his first game with the Tom Sox last night went 2 for 3. The only time he got out, he hit a bullet to center field that just hung up a little too much. So 1-0 is low and away, 2 balls and no strikes. Really made a good first impression. Scored a couple of times. 2-0, up and in, 3 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, I'd love to know how the chemistry works among these players. You know, they're used to playing against Victor this entire season. Then one day he's, walks into their dugout, and now they got to, get to know him real fast and, get ready to make the final push with him down the season.
3-0 is nowhere close, and Victor Castillo walks on 4 pitches. So Tom Sox have a 2-out base runner here. And that'll bring up Adam Cesiri. Cesiri, another guy that's been scorching hot for the Tom Sox out of Wake Forest. And speaking of Wake Forest, last night in the Valley League, 2 Wake Forest pitchers and 1 Clemson pitcher combined to throw a no-hitter in Strasburg last night. They no-hit Percival. Rhett Lauder out of Wake Forest went 6 perfect innings with 10 strikeouts before he gave way to his Demon Deacon teammate Crawford Wade, who went an inning and 2/3, walked a man, 2 more strikeouts, and then Ryan Ammons out of Clemson came on. His first pitch to Cesiri's fouled away down the left field line. Ammons then came on an inning and a 1/3 to close the door. 1 walk, 1 strikeout, and there's a bit of a race brewing for that top overall seed in the entire Valley League, and who would have home field advantage if the 2 top seeds met up in the championship between the Express and these Tom Sox that we'll get into a little later tonight. The 0-1 to Cesiri is in the dirt, blocked nicely behind the plate there by McNeely. to keep the runner at first base and even the count. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, great block there behind the dish by McNeely, because as hot as this Tom Sox lineup has been, you cannot be giving them extra bases. So great job there to block that ball and prevent Castillo from advancing to second there.
Cesari at an even 400 on the season with 3 home runs. As Castillo bluffs from first base, the 1-1 misses, 2 balls and a strike. 2 of those home runs came in the same game against Covington. He went 4 for 5, 2 home runs and a double. He's also got 16 RBIs in only 14 games. OPS of 1,138. It's the 2-1s bounced on the ground to second. It's fielded there by Marte, who flips over to first base to retire the side. So the Tom Sox also get a base runner, but do nothing with it. And as we go to the second inning, there's no score here in Charlottesville. It'll be Jordan Sweeney, Robert Curbelo, and Bryce Safrowich due up here in the top of the second inning against Garrett Payne. In a scoreless ball game here in Charlottesville as the shadows creep out a little bit more. Payne worked a scoreless first inning, worked around a 1-out error. And he's ready against Jordan Sweeney, the first baseman for the Turks here tonight. He winds and deals the first pitch, and it misses way outside. 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, solid first inning there for Garrett Payne. Obviously the only blemish being the error, which nothing he can do about that. But, 3 no strikeouts, which is, to be expected with him. He's not a high strikeout guy, but, still a solid first inning of work.
The 1-0 is tapped slowly to third. Pierce Bennett fields and throws on to first in plenty of time to retire Sweeney. So 1 out here in the top of the second, and that'll bring up Robert Curbelo. Last time Garrett Payne started a game, it was in the College World Series. He pitched against Vanderbilt for NC State. He started that game. He went 5 innings, gave up 2 hits, 3 runs. Only 1 of them was earned. Walked 3 and struck out 3 in a 3-1 loss to Vanderbilt, which wound up being the last game of the season for NC State after their next game was deemed no contest. His first pitch to Robert Curbelo is in there, no balls and 1 strike. He also pitched in the Super Regionals against Arkansas, and he pitched in Game 1, that absolute blowout loss. They lost 21-2. Came back and won the next 2 games to knock off the number 1 overall seed as the 0-1 misses outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That loss to Arkansas, all things considered, it wasn't the worst outing. 2 1/3, 3 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned. 1-1, finds the outside corner, 1-2. He also struck out 3. In a 21-2 loss, though, it's really not a terrible outing. Certainly not great, though. He's working here in a scoreless ball game in the top of the second. He's ahead 1-2 on Robert Curbelo. Here's the pitch, and that one's up and in. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
What I've noticed so far from Garrett Payne is he's done a great job of painting that outside corner there with a 1-2 pitch going high in the zone missing. So let's see what he goes to here. Go back to that outside pitch, how he got his first 2 strikes in this at-bat.
Winds and deals the 2-2. He goes back outside but misses off the edge, and it runs the count full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Robert Curbelo, the designated hitter today. Mentioned he's the newest addition to this Turks team. He's only 0 for 4 so far as a Turk. He awaits a payoff pitch. Here it is. And it's low and away. Ball 4. He walks him. So Curbello's aboard with 1 out, and that'll bring up Bryce Safrowich, the shortstop. For Curbello, that's the first time he's reached base as a member of the Turks. Safrowich now comes in, hitting 184 on the season. This is his 30th game. He's just 16 for 87 with 1 home run, 9 RBIs. Now first pitch to him, outside corner, strike 1.
Yeah, really dotting that outside corner, as I mentioned earlier, and partially due to the fact that he's standing so far on the first base side of the mound there, so able to dot that corner a little bit more efficiently. He's done a good job of it so far. Look for him to continue this as he goes through the Turks lineup.
0-1 is fouled off right at the plate, and it's quickly no balls and 2 strikes on Bryce Safrowich, who plays at JMU and obviously plays at the JMU field with the Turks. Frederick Walter waits on deck for the Turks. Infield at double play depth, outfield still straight away. The 0-2 misses upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. We're still scoreless here, top of the 2nd inning, 1 out. As the sun's actually gone behind a cloud, which has completely negated any shadows. Super helpful to the hitters. Ready now with the 1-2. Breaking ball is fought off down the first base line, out of play. So we'll try it again, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, as you mentioned earlier, these hitters certainly don't need any more disadvantages. Already going up against a guy who pitched in the College World Series, and then on the other side, a guy who's been one of the best pitchers in the VBL. So luckily for them, so far it appears that the Shadows have not played too much a role in this early game.
Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch there from Payne. His first strikeout of the ball game. There's 2 outs now here in the top of the 2nd inning. That'll bring up Frederick Walter. He's at third base today for the Turks. Looked like he pulled the string there on a changeup. Fooled Safrowich with it. So Curbello leads off first for Frederick Walter. He's at 229. No home runs, 8 RBIs. This Turks team is a lot more guys that have been here for a long duration of time. As the first pitch misses up and in, Ochoa was thinking about a back pick at first base, but fumbled the transfer. Ball and no strikes.
Here for Walter, he already has 31 strikeouts and just 70 at-bats, so 44% of the time he's struck out here in the VBL, so looking to break through here against Garrett Payne in the 2nd inning.
1-0, slider off the outside edge. 2 balls and no strikes. And Payne wanted that one. Home plate umpire today, Tony Carilli, said it was just outside. Matt Pierman's on the bases today. They're on this Friday evening, Crutchfield Park. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Good fastball there. 2 balls and a strike. So, as I mentioned, the Turks, a lot more consistent roster throughout the year. Tom Sox have seen guys come and go all season. A couple of guys that have gone as Curbello leaves early. Stepping off the mound and throwing to second. And a beautiful slide into second base by Robert Curbello. He slid around the tag of the second baseman, Eddie Eisert. I think Payne might have rushed the throw a little bit. Eisert didn't really get to the bag as quickly as he would have liked. And then Curbello kind of slid short and maneuvered his body around the tag, and he's safe at second with 2 outs.
Yeah, did a little bit of fancy handiwork there, picking one hand up, moving him around to get around the tag there. It looked like the defense was a little bit caught off guard. Obviously, they weren't expecting him to steal before the pitch was even thrown, but a little miscommunication there. Now the Turks have a guy in scoring position with only 2 gone here, or with 2 gone.
2-1 hits the inside corner, so the count's even. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and Payne's 1 pitch away from stranding a runner in scoring position. He has his sign, checks Curbello at second, set it to letters, and comes home. This one's lofted in the air, shallow right field. Amos coming in a few steps, settles under it, and puts it away to retire the side. So no runs, no hits, no errors. They leave a man at second base. And as we head to the bottom of the 2nd, we're still scoreless. Andres Rodriguez back out for his second inning of work. He'll face Eddie Eisert, Wyatt Langford, and Arche Ochoa here in the bottom half of the second inning of a scoreless ball game between the Turks and the Tom Sox. Eisert, another member of NC State, bats from the left side, and the first pitch to him is outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Comes in at .333 through his first 10 games. No home runs, 2 RBIs. The windup and the 1-0. Swung on and hit on the ground to second base. Sliding backhanded stop at second. Throwing from his knees to first is offline, and it's going to roll out of play, and Eisert will trot into second base. So that's going to be an infield single and an error. Now the first hit of the day for the Tom Sox. They got a runner in scoring position with nobody out.
Yeah, great stop there by Marte, and obviously the play would have been close, so a little bit of an aggressive move there to try and make the throw, and it was just blatantly off target. Nothing you can do about that. Now Tom Sox have a man in scoring position for one of their hottest hitters, Wyatt Langford.
Wyatt Langford, the all-star, one of 2 positional all-stars for the Tom Sox this year. Him and Cole Foster, who is currently in the hole. Langford at .347 with 3 home runs, 18 RBIs so far this season. He's got a runner in scoring position, nobody out in a scoreless ball game here, bottom of the second. The first pitch to him is downstairs, 1-0.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised to see Wyatt Langford this low in the lineup, considering he's the 3rd highest average on the team, and honestly the 1st highest because the other guys haven't played nearly as many games as him. So one of their most consistent hitters, but hey, if you get him here with a guy in scoring position and a chance to bring in the first run of the game, I guess it makes sense.
The 1-0, that one is downstairs as well. Stopped nicely there by McNeely. It's 2-0, and Langford, as you mentioned, the only guy on the team that qualifies in the average department. He's 8th in the league in average. Highest on the team at .347. He's been blistering hot. Homered last night as well. And the 2-0 is ripped into the hole in between short and third. That's a base hit into left field. He hit it so hard that Eisert's going to have to hold up at third. And it'll be runners on the corners, nobody out for R.J. Ochoa.
Yeah, and as you mentioned in the opening, Zach, the Turks have one of the best defenses in the league if you're going by fielding percentages, and they don't make too many errors. They make one early on in this game, and now it looks like it might bite them as they have runners on the corner with no one gone.
And so with nobody out, R.J. Ochoa digs in. Another new addition to this Tom Sox roster. He's behind the dish tonight. He hit a pinch hit 3-run home run last night, only the second pinch hit home run in Tom Sox history. Infield plays double play depth. Outfield plays straight up. Center field pretty deep as the first pitch to Ochoa is waved at and missed. Fastball blown right by him. No balls and a strike. Chance for the Tom Sox to put some runs on the board here early in this ballgame. Langford leads off first. Eisert off a third. The 0-1 off the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ochoa's at .250. He's only 1 for 4 so far this season. This is only his 3rd game. 1 home run, 3 RBIs. All 3 RBIs came on that 1 swing. 3-run home run last night. There's no doubt about it. The 1-1 in the dirt. Another great stop by McNeely, who's doing yeoman's work behind the plate tonight. It's 2 balls and a strike.
You can go back to Wyatt Langford. With that single, he extends his on-base streak to 12 games, leading the Tom Sox there. The Tom Sox have had 5 players this year get 10 games or more, but no one has been able to until Wyatt Langford to get that 11-game mark, and today he extends it to 12. So great job by Wyatt Langford here.
He leads off first. And a throw over there before the 2-1. Back in, no problem. Right fielder Hardigan is pretty far off the line in right. Is that right field line wide open for Ochoa. Played under Coach Kohler at Sanjak. 2-1 is high, 3 balls and a strike. He now goes to UT Rio Grande Valley, where he hit .287 with 5 home runs and 28 RBIs in 36 games this year. Hit career .228 at Sanjak in his 2 seasons there under Coach Kohler. He awaits a 3-1 pitch from Andres Rodriguez. Here it is. And that's high, ball 4. So the bases are loaded now with nobody out for Cole Foster. A scoreless game here in the bottom of the second inning. Foster, the other position player all-star for the Tom Sox. He's up at 239 on the season. The only Tom Sox to play in every single game. He's playing in his 35th tonight. No home runs, 8 RBIs, but he does have 7 doubles.
Now would be a great time for another double and bring home that 9th or even more RBI here in the second.
First pitch misses inside, 1-0. The corners are in. The middle infield playing at double play depth. Center fielder Lockett shaded over towards the line, or over towards right center. Right fielder Hardigan still well off the line and right. So a big gap in left center for Foster, who's switch hitter batting left. 1-0 almost hits him. 2 balls and no strikes.
Great take there. And as we mentioned, on the mound tonight for the Turks, Rodriguez, one of the best pitchers in the VBL. As we said, he was an all-star who played in the game last Sunday. So if you're the Sox, if you can get to this guy early and get him out of the game as quickly as possible, you're certainly going to be putting your team in a great position to come out victorious against the Turks.
2-0 to Foster's downstairs, 3-0. And he has pitched against the Tom Sox twice. He's 1-1 against them. 7 innings pitched. He's given up 4 runs, but none of them have been earned. 5 hits, 10 strikeouts. Coming into today, last time he pitched against him was June 18th when he went 5 shutout innings, struck out 5. 3-0 is nowhere close, ball 4, so Foster draws a walk with the bases loaded, and he'll get credited with that 9th RBI of the season like you mentioned, Dylan, and it's 1-0 Tom Sox here in the bottom of the second as McNeely wants to go have a chat with Rodriguez quick. Probably one of the easier RBIs of Foster's life, a 4-pitch walk, and none of the pitches were really particularly close.
Yeah, great job there by Foster to stay patient. And, a lot of guys in those situations, especially when it gets to 2-0, 3-0, they want to swing for the fences, get as many RBIs as possible. But great job there by Foster to play for the team there, take the pitches that were necessary, and bring home the first Sox run of the game.
That'll bring up a national champion, Braylon Skinner, out of Mississippi State. Played a big role in getting Mississippi State to the national championship, scored the game-winning run against Texas in the semifinals, and he's swinging at the first pitch and lines it down the left field line, foul. If that ball was fair, would have been 2 bases and probably 3 runs for the Tom Sox, but instead it's no balls and a strike. Braylon Skinner, he's 1 for 5 so far as a Tom Sox. Only played 2 games. Bats from the left side of the plate, slightly open stance. Rodriguez works from the windup. Corner still in, middle still at double play depth, and the pitch bounced up the middle. Fielded at short by Safrowicz, takes it to the bag himself. Throw to first is in time. So a 6-3 double play. Langford does come in to score, but no RBI there for Braylon Skinner. And there's 2 outs now and a runner on third base. Really big double play ball there by Rodriguez to try to limit the damage this inning, but still another run 90 feet away from the Tom Sox in the top of the order in Pierce Bennett. Still working from the windup, Rodriguez's first pitch to Bennett is on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. Bennett flew out to left field his first time up. And first, the 0-1 is hit on the ground too short. Safrowicz bobbles it, and Bennett's going to be safe at first. No play. Safrowicz a little lackadaisical over there at short on that one. That'll be an E6, and the second error of the inning results in another run for the Tom Sox, and it's 3-0.
Yeah, Zach, I think we may have jinxed the defense here as you came in. The Turks came in tonight as one of the best teams, the best team actually in the VBL in fielding. And already here in the second inning committed 2 errors, leading to 2 runs. And if you're playing against this Tom Sox team that has been so hot recently on the offensive side of the plate, you cannot be giving them any extra outs here.
So with Bennett off of first base and Amos up to bat, he swings at the first pitch, no balls and a strike. 3 runs already in for the Tom Sox here in the second inning. They lead it 3-0. So that'll go down as an unearned run. Rodriguez set at the belt, kicks deals. The 0-1 is high and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike. So with Bennett over there at first base, is a candidate to steal. He's got 8 of them so far this season, 8 stolen bases, has been caught 3 times. Takes a healthy lead off of first base, not running. The 1-1 swing and a miss, pitch is in the dirt, and a great read by Bennett. He's going to advance to second base on the wild pitch. But it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on Logan Amos, who struck out swinging his first time up. Another run out there in scoring position, though. Amos, 12 RBIs already this season. Looking to add to the crooked number. 3 runs already in the bottom of the second. Center fielder Lockett still shading out towards right center. Amos likes to spray the ball around. Not afraid to use that left center gap, and he takes that one downstairs. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, one thing the Sox have done so well this season is score runs in bunches. They've been able to get hot in certain innings and kind of carry them to these victories, as we mentioned, or as is happening right now in front of us, already scoring 3 here in the second. That'll obviously put their pitching staff in a much more comfortable situation as they look to shut down the Turks.
2-2 is hit out into that left center field gap. On the run is Lockett. He's not going to get there, and it one hops the wall. Coming in to score easily is Bennett, and Logan Amos trades places with him. It's an RBI double, and it's 4-0 Tom Sox here in the second. Logan Amos continues to stay hot, and the Tom Sox capitalize on the 2 errors in this inning with 4 runs. You mentioned the big innings, Dylan. Yesterday in Stanton, they had 15 runs, but only scored in 2 innings. They put up 7 and 8 runs in the 4th and 5th innings. Here they've got 4 in the second. Amos stands off second for Victor Castillo. The first pitch to him, right there, no balls and a strike.
And Castillo making his first game appearance here in Crutchfield Park, so looking to make a great first impression with the Tom Sox fans with a runner in scoring position here with 2 men out.
He walked his first time up. Left-handed hitter. The 0-1 lined sharply to second, and leaping at second base is Marte to put that one away. So Castillo hit it right on the screws, but right at Marte at second. The damage is done, though, as the Tom Sox scratch across 4 runs in the bottom of the second inning, and they lead it 4-0 as we head to the top of the third. Top of the third inning. It's a 4-0 Tom Sox lead. It'll be 9-1-2 for the Turks. Lockett, Marte, and Crispin as they try to answer back, as the Tom Sox put up 4 in the bottom half of the second inning, and Garrett Payne now takes the mound with a pretty sizable lead. There is action down in the Tom Sox bullpen. A right-hander is up and throwing, as the first pitch to Clay Lockett is on the outside corner. No balls, 1 strike.
And as we mentioned earlier in the bottom half of the inning, that the Tom Sox have done a great job of scoring run in bunches. And in 23 of their 34 games, they've been decided by 3 or more runs. The Tom Sox have done a great job of getting ahead of their opponent, and then their pitching staff has done a great job of maintaining that lead. And obviously, on the mound, when your team has done a great job behind you of giving you some run support, you're able to pitch a lot more comfortably, maybe be a little more aggressive because you know you have a lot of runs to work with.
The 0-1's rolled softly foul, no balls and 2 strikes, and yeah, you make a great point. You know, those pitching with a lead is much different than pitching in a tie game. Just the stress of the pitches is the 0-2 just misses off the outside corner. Payne wanted that one. Doesn't get it from home plate umpire Tony Carilli. Runs the count to 1 ball and 2 strikes, and for Lockett, this is his 33rd game of the season. He's hitting .208, 1 home run, 6 RBIs. 1-2, strike 3 called, outside corner on a nice slider there, and there's 1 out.
Yeah, Payne was a little frustrated that he didn't get that call in 0-2 there on the outside corner, so he said, how about we do that one again? Runs it back with a beautiful slider right on the outside corner for the first out of the inning.
So back to the top of the order for the Turks now. It's Carlos Marte, lined out to center field his first time up. First pitch to him misses off the outer edge, 1-0. Looking around the Valley League tonight, 5 games. All the teams that are still playing are in action tonight. Percival Cannons and the Winchester Royals tied up 0-0. Top of the second. So 1-0. Off-speed pitch misses, 2 balls and no strikes. Braves and Generals also 0-0, top of the second. Rebels are taking on the River Bandits. River Bandits lead that one 2-0 in the bottom of the second. 2-0, fastball at the knees, 2-1. Then the game that Tom Sox fans have their eye on tonight, the Express and the Cardinals, knotted up 0-0, top of the second. We touched on it earlier, Dylan, but the race between the Express and the Tom Sox for that top overall seed. So 2-1 is hit hard, foul down the first base line, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That race for the top overall seed, it's pretty tight. Tom Sox only a game and a half lead on the Express right now.
Yeah, Tom Sox have 6 more games to play, including tonight, while the Express have 7 left. So very tight race, as you mentioned, and obviously when you have a field and a crowd like Crutchfield does here, every game that you can play here in this home environment, you'll absolutely take. So they're definitely going to try and get that advantage as we go towards the playoffs.
2-2, Payne tried to bust him inside, but it's spoiled foul, and count holds 2 balls and 2 strikes on Carlos Marte. Made a nice play at second base to end the last inning. 2-2 is hit on the ground to second. Eisert fields it, throws to first base, and an easy 4-3 put out for Eddie Eisert. And 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 3rd inning, and Garrett Payne's on his way to a nice shutdown inning.
Yeah, Payne has done a great job of pitching to contact. He does have 2 strikeouts so far in 2 2/3 of an inning, but he's done a great job of just letting the defense do what they need to, right? And obviously we've talked about the defensive struggles of the Tom Sox, but so far tonight, Garrett Payne can't complain. He's done a great job, or they've done a great job behind him, except for the error in the first inning, but still a great job.
Peyton Crispin now lines this one hard to right field. Coming in and diving to make the catch is Logan Amos to retire the side. 1-2-3. A beautiful play out in right field by Logan Amos ends the inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We're heading to the bottom of the 3rd inning. 4-0 Tom Sox. Adam Cesare will get things going for the Tom Sox in the bottom of the third inning as they look to add to their 4-0 lead. Andres Rodriguez back out for the Turks, and his first pitch to Cesare is on the black on the outside edge. No balls and a strike. Rodriguez not helped out by his defense last inning. He gave up 4 runs. The 0-1 runs inside and hits Cesare, so for the second inning in a row, the Tom Sox have their leadoff base runner aboard. Now it'll bring up Eddie Isert.
Second baseman number 24, Eddie Isert.
Yeah, very interesting. In the pregame, we talked about how great Harrisonburg's defense was and how poor the Tom Sox defense were. Tom Sox, a couple of errors here, or excuse me, 1 error so far in this game, but overall pretty great. But the Harrisonburg Turks, just sloppy defense in the second inning there, costing them a couple of runs. So Rodriguez looking to settle down here and hoping to keep the deficit where it is.
First pitch to Eddie Isert, outside corner, no balls and a strike. Isert has been nothing short of spectacular since joining the Tom Sox. He led off last inning with a single, came around to score. He awaits an 0-1, and he fouls it back into the fence behind home plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Isert's done a great job of being patient. He's batting .333 on the season, but a .481 on-base percentage. So a guy who's not afraid to take a few pitches and work with what he's given. Not afraid to, not a guy who's over aggressive at the dish here. So if he can just advance the runner here at first, he'll be more than happy.
0-2 is in the dirt and stopped by McNeely. Cesare does not advance. 1 ball and 2 strikes as Isert still looking for his first extra base hit since joining the team. Mentioned that game, Front Royal and Strasburg. Front Royal will be coming to Charlottesville, 1-2 just off the outside edge. Good off-speed pitch there by Rodriguez, but he doesn't get the call. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Front Royal will be coming to Charlottesville on the 19th, that's Monday, for a doubleheader. That game those 2 games originally rained out. 2-2 way upstairs. Full count now on Eddie Isert. So Tom Sox season, as you mentioned, Dylan, really winding down after that doubleheader. Only 3 more games. They play Tuesday against these same Turks, Wednesday at Waynesboro, and then Friday home against Waynesboro, and that's it. Then the playoffs start. Tom Sox team that going to be the number 1 seed in the South Division. 3-2 outside corner, ring him up. Isert knew it. Great pitch there from Rodriguez, and 1 away for Wyatt Langford.
Designated hitter number 21, Wyatt Langford.
And if you're this Tom Sox team, you're getting hot exactly at the right time. There's still a few more games left, so you need to maintain this heading into the playoffs. But last night they clinched the Southern Division regular season title, and they'll look to clinch the postseason title in the next coming weeks here.
8-2 in their last 10 games. Certainly, like you mentioned, getting hot right when they want to. The first pitch to Langford is downstairs, 1-0. Langford singled last inning, came around to score as well. He extended his on-base streak to 12 games. Last night was 2 for 4. Hit a solo home run in the 5th inning, part of back-to-back home runs. Hit one right after Ochoa hit his 3-run home run. And the 1-0 is in there, 1 ball and 1 strike. Tonight, Ochoa bats behind Langford. Last night it was Ochoa who came in for Adam Cesare as a pinch hitter in the 5th, launched that 3-run home run, then Langford hit one opposite field. 1-1 is in the dirt, 2 balls and a strike now. Gary Giebel also hit a home run last night for the Tom Sox in that same 5th inning. Also a 3-run home run, part of 7 runs that they put up in the 5th inning. They batted around in the 4th and the 5th. 8 in the 4th, 7 in the 5th. Part of a 15-1 Mercy Rule win. This counts now 3 balls and a strike on Wyatt Langford.
Yeah, going back to last night against Stanton, very interesting to see just after the All-Star break, they introduced this new Mercy Rule, which I'm personally a big fan of. If you're up by 10 or more after 7, the game is officially called off. And then Tom Sox do not waste any time to put that rule into effect.
3-1. Langford tries to check his swing, but he can't. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes. And For the Turks, their last game, they beat Waynesboro 13-6 on Wednesday. They also have 6 games to go. Well, they have 7, including tonight. It's a payoff pitch, up and in, ball 4. So Langford draws a walk, and there's runners on first and second now for R.J. Ochoa. The Turks tomorrow host Stanton. Sunday host Waynesboro. Monday go to Waynesboro. And Tuesday they'll be back here against these same Tom Sox before they finally have a day off. They close their season hosting Stanton and then heading to Stanton. So a lot of baseball for these Harrisonburg Turks in the last week of the season. Runners on first and second, 1 out in a 4-0 ball game here, bottom of the third for R.J. Ochoa. First pitch up and in, 1 ball and no strikes. Ochoa walked last inning, came around to score as well. Turks also played against Covington in Covington's final game of the season. Part of a doubleheader. They lost the first game 3-2, won the second game 2-1. Checks the runner at second, now the 1-0. Fouled straight back, 1 ball and 1 strike. And that game for the Turks, William Carter got the win. He went 6 1/3, 5 hits, 1 run, struck out 4. Matt Kalari came in for the save. He went 2/3 of an inning with a strikeout. For Covington, Victor Loa actually took the loss that game. He went 7 complete, though. Gave up 2 runs in the top of the 7th, the 2-1 loss. And Loa was having a good season as the 1-1 misses just upstairs, 2-1. Before their season ended, Loa, the freshman at Texas State, it's 0-1, but a 2.11 ERA and 19 strikeouts in 17 innings through 4 games and 3 starts. So he's really pitching well for the Lumberjacks and one of the few bright spots in a team that really struggled this season before they were shut down. A 2-1, big swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Ochoa.
Yeah, really unfortunate shutdown there for the Lumberjacks, and hopefully all the people who tested positive are doing okay. But what that means is now the playoff field is now set for the Southern Division with the Braves, Turks, Generals, and Tom Sox. Now the only thing left up in the air is who's playing who and with what seed.
And that race for the 2 and 3 seed is pretty tight. It's the 2-2 swing and a miss, struck him out. So Ochoa K's second strikeout of the inning and 3rd strikeout of the game for Rodriguez, and that'll bring up Cole Foster with runners on first and second and 2 outs. And you mentioned the seeding, and it looks like it could be, I mean, there's still a lot of games left, and Stanton plays the Turks 3 times. But the 2 and 3 seed very tight right now in the South Division, and I mean that determines home field in that potential series. So really important as the first pitch to Foster misses low and in, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, the Tom Sox locked up that number 1 seed, but currently Waynesboro sitting at 17-17. The Turks just ahead of them at 17-16, and then currently in last are the Braves at 16-19. But with 6 to 7 games left for each team, those 3 remaining spots are still very much up for grabs.
Pitch in the dirt. Both runners are going to advance as McNeely tried to stop that one, but it squirted out just a little bit to the third base side. So now there's 2 runners in scoring position and 2 outs for Cole Foster, who is ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, and one thing we've hailed McNeely for earlier in the game is he did a great job of keeping pitchers in front of him and limiting the running game, but just one gets by him there off to the third base side of the field. And now Tom Sox have 2 guys in scoring position, 2 out here. Let's see if Cole Foster can get his second RBI, of the game.
Yeah, he walked back in that second inning with the bases loaded on 4 pitches. He's ahead in the count now, 2 balls and no strikes. The pitch way inside almost hits him. He has to duck out of the way of that one, and it's 3-0. And for Foster, he's seen 7 pitches today, and none of them have been in the strike zone. Foster still batting from the left side, but this time the center fielder, Clay Lockett, plays straight up, as does the rest of the Turks defense. The 3-0. He's swinging, and he hits this one in the air to left field. Going back is Crispin a few steps to camp under it and put it away for the final out. So the Tom Sox threaten but do not score. And as we head to the 4th inning, It's still 4-0 Tom Sox.
Complete innings of play. The score remains.
Top of the 4th inning, it's 4-0 Tom Sox, and Chase Santala comes in for the Sox after Garrett Payne goes 3 innings, strikes out 2, walks 1, doesn't give up a run. Now Chase Santala comes in for his 8th game of the season.
Yes, Santala with the Sox pitched 19 innings so far, 23 strikeouts, 2-0, and a 3.78 ERA. So great job so far this season with the Sox. Like we said earlier, has a great lead ahead of him, already up 4-0 as we head to the 4th. So looking to maintain that here. You're giving a little bit of a cushion, but does not mean you can be too lenient here with the Turks batting lineup.
He'll take on the heart of this Harrisonburg Turks batting lineup. It's Logan McNeely, Connor Hardigan, and Jordan Sweeney due up this inning 3-4-5. For Santala, last time he pitched was against the Braves on the 9th of July. He went 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, all of them earned. He winds and deals. The first pitch misses upstairs, 1-0. He's pitched against the Turks twice. Last time, July 5th, went 1 inning, struck 1 out. The 0-1, way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. That's 2 balls and no strikes, actually. First time he pitched against the Turks, 2-0 inside, 3 balls and no strikes. First time he pitched against the Turks was all the way back June 18th. Went 2 innings, 1 run, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. Strikeout stuff has always been there for Santala, who's got 23 of them in 19 innings. 3-0. Misses inside. Ball 4. He walked him on 4 pitches. And for Santala, that really hasn't been much of an issue. That's only his 5th walk so far this season. We've seen pitchers on the Tom Sox and across the entire league that have struggled to consistently hit the strike zone. For Santala, not so much, but so far 4 pitches, 4 balls, and that'll bring up Connor Hardigan. First pitch swing on the ground to short. Foster to second one. Eisert's relay to first is in time. And a 6-4-3 double play wipes out the leadoff walk. And all of a sudden, there's 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Well, if you're Santala, it doesn't look like you need to get too many called strikes if you have a strong defense behind you. Cole Foster with a great turn at second, and then a great flip over there to first by Eddie Eisert to eliminate the base runner. And now we go from 4-pitch walk with no outs, no one on, 2 outs. So great job by the defense to help out their pitcher.
Jordan Sweeney digs in. 4-0 Tom Sox lead, top of the 4th. Sweeney 0 for 1 today. Bounced out to third his first time up and takes the first pitch breaking ball inside, 1-0.
And as you mentioned, Santala, a high strikeout guy here for the Sox, but I'm sure he is not complaining about that, getting that 6-4-3 double play to help him out in the 4th.
1-0 is tap foul over towards the Turks dugout. Evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike for Santala. He's Florida Gator. He works from the stretch. And he comes home with the 1-1, and it's hit in the air to right field. Amos going back at the track. He leaps, and it's over his head, and it one-hops off the wall. Fires it into second base, but it's a 2-out double for Jordan Sweeney in the first hit of the day for the Turks, here with 2 outs in the top of the 4th, and they've got a runner in scoring position for Robert Corbello.
Now if you're Chase Santala, you're really, really glad that your defense was able to turn that double play. What could have been the Turks' first run of the game now just means a guy on second with 2 gone for Robert Corbello.
And it was a very good turn at short by Cole Foster, who had to range a few steps to his right on a ball that was hit fairly well. Fielded it and then had to plant and make a strong, accurate throw to Iser, who then made a great turn at second base. So really well executed double play by the Tom Sox, and at this point has saved him a run as Corbello digs in. 2 outs, runner on second base. Santala checks the runner, comes home, and the pitch is low and away, 1-0. Corbello walked in his first trip to the plate and then stole second base on that awkward play where he left early. 1-0, bounced right back to Santala on the mound, who takes his time, runs over to first base, and flips it to Ceciri to retire the side. So the Turks get their first hit of the game, but still do not score. And we're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 4-0 Tom Sox. Bottom of the 4th inning, and it'll start off national champion on national champion matchup as Matt Caleri out of Wingate, the D2 national champions, comes on to pitch against Braylon Skinner of Mississippi State, obviously the Division I national champions. It'll be Skinner, Bennett, and Amos for the Tom Sox against Matt Caleri. And Dylan, what can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Caleri's appeared in 4 games this season for the Turks, pitched in 7.1 innings.
First pitch outside, 1-0.
And only struck out 5, but only walked 1, so a good K to walk ratio there. And total ERA of 3.68, exactly the same as his teammate Justin Blair. So let's see what he can do against this Sox lineup, hoping to keep the deficit right where it is at 4.
1-0 also misses outside, so it's 2 balls and no strikes now to Braylon Skinner, who grounded into a double play his first time up. 2-0. Up and away, 3 balls and no strikes now. So the final line then for Andres Rodriguez, he goes 3 innings, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. Gave up 4 total runs. swinging on 3-0 and tipping this one back into the glove of McNeely. 3 balls and 1 strike on Braylon Skinner.
Yeah, he was swinging for the fences with that one. Almost fell out of his shoes there, but looking at his first hit of the game here, grounded into a double play back in the second.
3-1 is ripped into left center field. This one is going to get down and one hop the fence out in left center. Braylon Skinner hustling around second. He's on his way to third. No relay throw, and Braylon Skinner is in with a leadoff triple. He smoked it out to left center field, and it split Crispin and Lockett. Landed on the track, one hop the wall out near the Prudential sign, near the 345 sign in left center. And Skinner never stopped running around second base. No hesitation, slid into third base with the triple.
Yeah, the pitch before I was talking about is aggressive swinging, some aggressive base running there. As soon as that ball was hit, he knew he was going 3, and the miscommunication on the relay throw, the cutoff, allowed him to get in there with the leadoff triple.
Turks bring the infield in for Pierce Bennett, and he takes a first pitch slider on the outside edge. No balls and a strike. Bennett 0 for 2 so far today. Flew out to left and reached on an error, but came around to score in the second. 0-1 is hit out to left center field. This ball is going to hang up long enough for Crispin to make the catch, but well deep enough for Skinner to come home to score. So a sac fly and an RBI for Pierce Bennett. And the Tom Sox extend their lead 5-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Bennett hit that ball pretty well. Solid line drive out to Crispin and left, but Crispin knew there was no chance of him throwing out Braylon Skinner. Didn't even make an attempt, just threw that one in to second base. So with 1 out, 1 run already in the bottom of the fourth, that'll bring up Logan Amos. The first pitch to him, he's swinging, and he fouls this one back into McNeely. No balls and a strike.
Yeah, going back to that sacrifice fly by Pierce Bennett there. Great job of not trying to play hero ball, just staying within himself, hitting, as you mentioned, a nice fly ball out to left field, left center pretty much, bringing the 5th run of the game, the first run of the inning, So great job at flipping the batting lineup. Great job by Braylon Skinner to start the inning off with a bang with that leadoff triple. And the Sox are looking to keep the inning going here, starting with Logan Amos.
That's a case of good hustle. A lot of guys would have just held up at second base in Skinner's situation. And then in that scenario, that line drive really wouldn't have done anything. It'd be a runner on second, 1 out, as the 0-1. Good fastball, outside edge, no balls and 2 strikes. Maybe a runner on second with 1 out. Instead, hustling all the way, gets to third, and now you got to run in with 1 out. The 0-2 to Amos in the dirt. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Amos doubled in a run in the second. Struck out back in the first, so he's 1 for 2 today. Already his 3rd at-bat here in the 4th inning. Tom Sox lead at 5-0. 1-2, hit on the ground to second base. Routine for Marte, who fields, throws on to first for the 2nd out of the inning.
And going back to that, the triple by Braylon Skinner, one thing the Sox have done great this season, one of the many things that they've done so well this season, is base running. They've stolen 93 bases through their first 34 games, which is blowing out the team record, which was previously 66, and they've taken 15 less games to get there. So they've done a great job on the base paths, and another great job, as we saw there, by Braylon Skinner to leg out a triple to lead off the inning.
Bases empty and 2 outs for Victor Castillo, who takes the first pitch curveball upstairs, 1-0. A lot of things, like you mentioned, that the Tom Sox have done well, and that's why they sit at 25-9 here in their 35th game of the season. 1-0. Outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike, and that's why they have a 7.5 game lead in the division. Cruising to the finish line, which can be a good and a bad thing, really, as 1-1 misses downstairs, 2 balls and a strike. I mean, a lot of times you like to secure that division early and not have to worry, but at the same time, it's easy to then let your foot off the gas when you're not playing for too much, as the 2-1 Castillo tries to check his swing, but he cannot, says the base umpire Matt Pierman, and evens the count 2-2.
Yeah, that's a great point there, Zach. I think the responsibility for that falls on Coach Corey Kohler and making sure his team knows that there's more to win this season than just a regular season title. That's not even the regular season, the postseason division title. This is just the first step in what they want to achieve this season, and the Sox players just need to know that there's more to win and that they need to stay focused for these next few weeks. I know it's been a long summer, but there's still a few more weeks to go before they can truly call themselves champions.
Castillo takes the 2-2 pitch for a ball and then takes the 3-2 pitch on the inside corner for strike 3 called. So the Tom Sox get a run after a leadoff triple by Braylon Skinner, but that's it. They extend their lead to 5-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. Bottom third of the Turks order due up here in the top of the 5th inning. They trail the Tom Sox 5-0 currently. Bryce Safrowicz will get things going. He is 0 for 1 so far today, struck out swinging back in the second. As sun completely down behind Charlottesville High School, and the lights taking full effect. In the first pitch to Safrowicz, he swings and hits a slow roller to third base. Bennett charging, Fields throws on the run, and it's in time. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Chase Santala, who's back out there for the 5th.
Yeah, great play there by the third baseman, Pierce Bennett, to make a nice throw and get the first out of the inning for Chase Santala as he looks to go into his second inning of relief.
Santala, his first inning, walked the first batter, but then after a 4-pitch walk, the very next pitch got a 6-4-3 double play and gave up the first hit of the game to Jordan Sweeney, but got Robert Corbello to bounce out to him at the mound. So it's 5-0 Tom Sox here, top of the 5th inning. Frederick Walter digs in, and he takes first pitch fastball low, 1-0. Walter 0 for 1, flew out to right field back in the second inning. The 1-0, nice pitch, fastball on the outside corner at the knees, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, now that it has been officially ended, we can finally say it was a great job by Garrett Payne, throwing 3 innings of no-hit baseball. A great job in his debut here for the Tom Sox.
1-1, line to right field. That's going to get down. Amos cuts it off on the warning track and cuts it off in time to hold Frederick Walter to a single. A very long single, but a single nonetheless. And the Turks have a 1-out base runner for Clay Lockett.
Yeah, great job there by Amos to get to the ball, taking a great angle to the grounder to make sure that the base runner was not able to advance to second and, prevent someone from getting to scoring position. But now it's on Clay Lockett to bring across the runner.
So that Cardinals Express game, Cardinals lead 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd, and Tom Sox have a 2-game lead in the loss column over the Express as the first pitch to Lockett is swung through and missed 0-1. And I think that's the big thing to note, that 2-game lead in the loss column. So Tom Sox control their own destiny at this point to try to have home field throughout the playoffs. They've already got it in the first round, and should they make it the second. 0-1 to Lockett. Upstairs, 1-1. Walter leads off first base. He's held on there by Cesiri. Middle infielders Iser and Foster are at double play depth. Outfield straight up for the Turks center fielder, a 9-hole hitter. The 1-1 misses in the dirt. 2 balls and a strike.
Great job there by Lockett to hold up on that nice off-speed pitch by Chase Santala. So got a 2-1 count here, a little bit of a hitter-friendly count, not quite the 3-1 that hitters really start to get excited about, but Chase Santalo here looking to escape a possible early jam.
2-1, a 58-footer that bounces away from Ochoa and all the way to the backstop, and that'll allow Frederick Walter to advance to second base on the wild pitch and move the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Really not much that Ochoa could do there. That ball bounced about 2 feet in front of home plate, and it was a fastball that he spiked, so he tried to stand up to get in front of that one, but could not stop that. So 3 balls and a strike now to Clay Lockett, runner on second base. 5-0 Tom Sox lead here in the top of the 5th as the pitch is fouled straight back. Runs the count full, 3-2.
Yeah, Tom Sox pitching staff has done a great job so far. Every inning they've stranded a Turks base runner, so Chase Santalo looking to do the same here in the top of the 5th.
Top of the order awaits on deck. Payoff pitch is skied out to right. This one hooking foul and getting over into the Tom Sox bullpen, where it looks like there's a righty up and loosening as well as a lefty. So we saw Payne go 3 innings. Santala's now working in his 2nd inning. And more action in the Sox pen. They lead at 5-0, top 5. Walter leads off second base. Santala checks him, now comes home. This one's squibbed to third base, and it's foul. We'll try it again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So, got word that Noah Overton's up and loosening for the Tom Sox down there. Lefty out of UNC Wilmington. Santalo ready. Another payoff pitch to Lockett. Foul back again. Try it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Good battle going on here between Clay Lockett and Chase Santala. Speaking of Tom Sox pitchers, a couple of them from this past season went in the draft the other day. Carlos Rodriguez, who only pitched 1 time for the Tom Sox, but was selected. He went in the 6th round, 117th overall to Milwaukee. Another payoff pitch. This one's skied out to right field again, and this one's also going to get out of play. So a great, great battle here from Clay Lockett out of the 9-hole. He struck out in his first at-bat, and he's putting on one heck of a fight here in his second at-bat. And Alex Ayala, the other guy that got drafted from this year's Tom Sox team, he went 9th round, 281st overall to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Ayala we got to see a little bit more of. Pitched in 7 innings here with the Sox, 9 Ks to a 5.14 ERA. So obviously a lot more talent than he may have showed here in Charlottesville, but wishing the best for our guys. A total of 7 Tom Sox players were drafted this past weekend in the 2021 draft. Obviously last year the draft was shortened due to the pandemic to, I believe, just 5 rounds, but this year we had the full draft class. So very happy for our former Tom Sox and everyone in the VBL for getting drafted and, you know, living out their dreams.
Clay Lockett wins the battle as he takes a fastball just off the outside edge for ball 4. So now there's runners on first and second for Carlos Marte, who hits a slow roller to third. Bennett goes to second 1. Relay on to first is not in time, but they get the runner at second base, Lockett. So 2 outs now, runners on the corners for Peyton Crispin. And a chance for the Turks to scratch a run across and chip away at this 5-0 Tom Sox lead in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, good job there by the Tom Sox to get at least 1 runner out there. Pierce Bennett making a quick decision to throw over to second as opposed to trying to make the unassisted tag at third and then throw to first.
First pitch misses outside. 1 ball and no strikes. So on top of those 7 draftees, there are also 2 free agent signings. Jared Weatherby played with the team in 2018 as the 1-0 outside corner 1-1. 2018 left-handed pitcher out of Elon. He signed with the Phillies. And Kyle Battle, a 2017 outfielder from Old Dominion, also signed with the Yankees. So 9 former Tom Sox going pro. 1-1, runner bluffs from first. Does not go. It's cut on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Peyton Crispin, who's 0 for 2 today.
And then obviously we mentioned the VBL, but looking at the University of Virginia, just a couple miles from us, they had 6 guys get drafted. The first name off the board was Andrew Abbott, obviously a big name to Cavalier fans, going in the second round to the Cincinnati Reds.
The 1-2 is swung on and missed. Strike 3. So Chase Santala strands runners on the corners, and as we head to the bottom of the 5th, halfway through this ball game, the Tom Sox hold a 5-0 lead.
Anderson Burton, nothing.
4, 5, and 6 due up for the Tom Sox here in the bottom half of the 5th inning against Matt Kalari, the righty who's back out for his second inning of work. Adam Cesiri will lead things off. He's 0 for 1 today, grounded out to second base in the first and was hit by a pitch in the 3rd inning. He leads off here in the 5th, and the first pitch to him, up and away, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yes, Cesiri looking for his first hit today, something that he's done a great job with since coming over to the Tom Sox, batting .409 in just 44 at-bats. So not a huge sample size, but still a sign of great things to come as the Tom Sox look to compete this postseason.
1-0 is in there, 1 ball and 1 strikes, and Cesiri riding a little mini 2-game hitting streak at the moment. Swings through the 1-1, pulled the string on a changeup, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. He has already extended his on-base streak to 3 after he was hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Kalari working quickly now, ready with the 1-2 off the outer edge. Counts even, 2 balls and 2 strikes on Adam Cesiri. Eddie Eisert will follow, and then Wyatt Langford due up here in the bottom of the 5th. It's 5-0 Tom Sox over the Harrisonburg Turks so far. 2-2 hit hard on the ground to the right side and through past the diving try of Jordan Sweeney at first base and into right field. A leadoff single for Adam Cesiri, who now extends that hitting streak to a modest 3 games.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, now he extends his on-base streak to 4 games, which may seem a little low comparing to Wyatt Langford, who's at 12. But hey, all great streaks got to start somewhere, so great job by Cesiri to extend both streaks tonight, getting his hit by pitch in the 3rd, and now his first hit of the game, a single to lead off the 5th inning.
So with nobody out and a runner on first base, it'll be Eddie Eisert. The first pitch to him. Swings and fouls this one straight back. No balls and a strike. Eisert 1 for 2 so far today. Singled and scored. Led off the 2nd inning that way. And then struck out looking back in the 3rd. He bats with Cesiri on first base. Nobody out. Here bottom of the 5th. 5-0 Tom Sox. The 0-1 up and away. Almost looked like a pitch out. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, based on the reaction there by McNeely, not too sure if it was a pitch out or not, but great job there to at least snag it, jump up and grab that one for McNeely behind the dish to prevent Cesiri to go anywhere further.
This Cesiri not really a threat to run either there. Only 1 stolen base, has been caught once as well. 1-2, or the 1-1 rather, is swung on and missed. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Another good off-speed pitch there from Matt Kalari. Kalari set at the letters. Here's the 1-2. Fisted foul down the left field line. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes on Eddie Eisert.
For your safety, please remain alert at all times.
Eisert from Fairfax Station, Virginia, and commutes from home to Crutchfield Park for all the games. You can commute from home to Crutchfield Park and get in for free all season long thanks to Carter Bank and Trust. The 1-2 is popped right up the elevator chute behind home plate. This one is going to squirt out of play and dodging that ball where the fans right behind home plate. So Eisert spoils another pitch, and we'll try it again. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Langford stands on deck.
One thing that's nice about here at Crutchfield Park is the fans get to keep those souvenirs. So that ball that almost hit that woman in the 3rd row, the guy that caught it now gets to keep it, unlike other parks. So come to the ballpark, as we mentioned, for free, thanks to Carter Bank and Trust, and maybe you'll get your own souvenir.
Another 1-2. This one swung on, hit back to the mound. Going to second, 1. Relay to first is not in time. Eisert, good hustle. Avoids the double play, but Adam Cesari wiped out at second base. So Eisert aboard on a fielder's choice, and that'll bring up Wyatt Langford with a runner on first, 1 out. And for the Tom Sox, if you're not going to advance the runner, it's almost a good thing to get Eisert on first base. Great speed over there as opposed to Cesari.
Yeah, that ball there hit right back to Corey on the mound. It looked like it may have gotten stuck in his glove. Took him a little bit to fire it over to second base, and I think that's what resulted in, not Cesari, but Eisert being able to get to first base here. So, as you mentioned, now they got some speed on the base path. Let's see if they can capitalize on it.
So Wyatt Langford steps in, takes the first pitch high, 1 ball and no strikes. Langford is 1 for 1 today. Singled and scored in the second, walked in the third. Left fielder Crispin and center fielder Lockett way deep out there. Middle infield at double play depth, 1-0. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strikes from Langford, who has 3 home runs on the season. 18 RBIs. Has scored now 20 runs.
And as we mentioned, leads the Tom Sox in qualified hitters for batting average with 347. So great job at getting on base and also driving in runs. A nice dual threat bat.
Kalari's 1-1 is tipped foul, and looks like that one caught McNeely somewhere where didn't feel too great. And so home plate umpire Tony Carilli walks the ball out to Kalari on the mound. Carilli gives it to Kalari. Then wipes the dirt off the plate. Common courtesy between catchers and umpires, kind of an unwritten bond. When one of you gets dinged up with a foul ball, the other one, you walk the ball out to the mound, take a nice slow stroll back, give the other one time to shake it off. It's 1-2 on Langford. Runner goes, pitch taken, ball, throw down to second is in time, but it's unable to be corralled by Marte at second base. It was a short hop over there to Marte, and he could not corral it. If he would have got it, it looks like it was in plenty of time to catch Eisert stealing, but mark that down as a stolen base for Eddie Eisert. That's his 4th of the season. And a runner in scoring position for Wyatt Langford, who now is a 2-2 count and a 5-0 Tom Sox lead, bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, it looks like even after getting a little bit hurt there by that fouled off pitch, McNeely made a great job at gunning over to second base Eisert. Throw way in time, but just not able to make a good enough throw.
Kalari gets Wyatt Langford to swing through the 2-2 pitch. So Langford strikes out. 2 outs now for R.J. Ochoa. Runner still in scoring position. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Ochoa comes in 0 for 1 today. Walked and scored in the second, struck out in the third. Second baseman Marte shades towards the middle to hold Eisert close to second base. So big hole on the right side. First pitch is a breaking ball, low and outside, blocked by McNeely to prevent Eisert from advancing. 1 ball and no strikes.
And as we mentioned, Ochoa still looking for his first hit here at Crutchfield Park. Does have his first hit with the Tom Sox, but not at home, as this is just his 3rd game with the Sox. So bringing in an RBI here with Eisert in scoring position would certainly be a good way to get your hitting started here.
1-1. They go with the breaking ball again. That one misses downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes. Lockett out in center. Maybe a step or two over towards left center. As Kalari checks the runner twice. Now comes home and misses in the dirt again. It's 3 balls and no strikes. On the Tom Sox backstop today, R.J. Ochoa. Cole Foster waits on deck. Not sure if we'll see Noah Overton or not next inning, but he is no longer loosening in the pen as both pens are quiet. Kalari working from the far first base side of the rubber. Checks Isert, comes home. 3-0 upstairs, ball 4, so Ochoa walks for the second time today. And there's 2 on, 2 out for Cole Foster.
And Cole Foster 0 for 2 on the day, but does have an RBI with a 4-pitch walk back in the second, so a chance for his first hit and his second RBI, maybe even third RBI, with 2 outs here facing the right-hander.
Cole Foster yesterday was 2 for 4 with an RBI. He stands, runners on first and second, 5-0, bottom of the 5th, Tom Sox lead. 2 outs, and he takes the first pitch over the outside corner. No balls and 1 strike.
Great job dotting the corner there by Kalari, getting just on the outside to catch Cole Foster looking.
Foster today is 0 for 1. As you mentioned, Dylan did have that RBI walk back in the second and flew out to left in the third. 0-1, big swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, Foster a lot more aggressive here in his first 2 at-bats, like we said at first, a 4-pitch walk, and then back in the third flew out, but he went 3-0. So his first 7 pitches didn't swing, they were all balls, so a lot more aggressive here, 0-2, as he looks to fight back against the right-hander Kalari.
Kalari looking to get out of this 5th inning unscathed. He's up on Foster 0-2. Misses in the dirt with that one. Foster doesn't bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's interesting that Lockett, the first at-bat for Foster, was shaded way over towards right center. Second at-bat was straight up, and this at-bat still shaded slightly towards left center. It's the switch hitter still batting from the left side. 1-2. Off the inside corner, 2-2 now.
Yeah, usually when you see these defensive shifts, it's more towards the pull side, as a lot of players now are a little too pull heavy, and in baseball, especially professional baseball teams, are employing the shift a lot more. But as you mentioned, in center field, Lockett playing just slightly to left center this time, not too far over, but definitely a good gap there in right center if Cole Foster can place it.
Deuce is wild. 2 on, 2 out. 2-2 count to Cole Foster. Here's the pitch. Swings, and he hits this one in the air to left field, but that's going to be no problem for Crispin out there, who puts it away and retires the side. The Tom Sox get 2 base runners but don't score. And we're going to the top of the 6th inning here. It's 5-0 Tom Sox.
The score remains your Tom Sox 5.
Noah Overton takes over for the Tom Sox here in the top of the 6th inning. He'll face Logan McNeely, Connor Hardigan, and Jordan Sweeney. And just a reminder that Tom Sox Baseball is brought to you by Crutchfield Audio, Video, and More since 1974, the official sponsor of Crutchfield Park at Charlottesville High School. So Noah Overton on. Cam Guidry is in at shortstop for the Tom Sox. He takes over for Cole Foster after he flew out to end the last inning, and first pitch swinging. Dead ball right in front of home plate. No balls and a strike to Logan McNeely.
And the final line for Chase Santal in relief. 2 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. But the key there, no runs. Done a great job of, the whole Tom Sox pitching staff has done a great job of working out of jams here to keep the shutout so far as we head into the 6th.
5-0 Tom Sox, and 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. For Overton, this is appearance number 12 for him. He's 1-1 with a 5.06 ERA. 1-1. Just off the outer edge again. 2 balls and 1 strike. So as you mentioned, Cam Guidry in at shortstop, and so Cole Foster finishes his day 0 for 2 with an RBI. 2-1 to McNeely. Low and in 3-1, and McNeely bats now. The 3rd different pitcher that he's faced. He was the first guy that Santala faced, and now the first guy that Overton faces, and he lifts this one in the air. Center field and deep. Skinner going back, track wall, and that one's gone. A rude welcoming to the game for Noah Overton as Logan McNeely goes dead central on him. Ends the shutout, and it's 5-1 Tom Sox.
Yeah, up to this point in the game, McNeely was 0 for 1 back with that walk, but also a fly out back in the first. So great job to, as you said, a rude awakening or a rude welcome for Noah Overton here at Crutchfield tonight as he's welcomed by a solo shot. So still a lot of time to settle in, and as we mentioned before, has a big pad behind him as the Tom Sox offense has gotten him 5 runs. So definitely some room to work with. Not the end of the world, but still got to focus in here and get this next batter, who will be Connor Hardigan.
Hardigan digs in 0 for 2, and he rips this one to left field, going back, and this one's going to one-hop off the wall. Hardigan rounds first and into second easily. So 1 pitch after the home run to dead central, Connor Hardigan rips a double into left field, and still a 5-1 Tom Sox lead, but
no,
the Turks are rallying.
And also, we mentioned the defensive replacement with Cam Guidry coming in at shortstop. We also have Hurley coming in, Jack Hurley, coming in at right field, who will be replacing Logan Amos. Interesting decision there, but at right field, so 2 defensive substitutions here for the Tom Sox in the 6th.
So a runner on second, nobody out here for Jordan Sweeney. He doubled his last time up. He's 1 for 2. Overton checks the runner at second, now comes home. And fastball at the knees, no balls and 1 strike. Overton, this is his first appearance against the Turks on the season. The 0-1, that one's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, and last time out against the Rebels, part of that doubleheader. He went 3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs. And already 1 earned run and a runner on second base without getting an out. Jordan Sweeney looking to add more for the Turks, who trail 5-1 here, top of the 6th. He takes a big cut, foul tips that one back into the glove of R.J. Ochoa. It's a ball and 2 strikes now.
Yeah, Sweeney there with that cut. Definitely looking like he was trying to make this a 5-3 ball game as he was swinging for the fences there, but just a bit over it, and now 1-2 count for him here against Noah Overton, who looks to get his first out.
Overton checks the runner twice, now comes home with the 1-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out. Overton bounces back nicely after the home run and the double. Strikes out Jordan Sweeney for the first out of the inning. And with 1 out and a runner on second, it'll bring up Robert Curbelo in a 5-1 ball game.
Yeah, that'll be the 25th strikeout this season for Noah Overton in just 21 innings. So high strikeout guys, we're saying averaging more than 1 strikeout per inning. And he's looking here to escape the early jam, giving up that solo shot, but as we mentioned, has a pad to work with.
Curbelo digs in from the right side of the plate and takes the first pitch fastball high and outside, 1-0. Curbelo is 0 for 1, walked and stole a base in the second and grounded out to the pitcher to end the 4th. Open stance from the right side. Takes curveball in the dirt, 2-0. One run already in here in this top of the sixth. Logan McNeely led things off with a bomb to dead central. Still 5-1 Tom Sox, though, as Overton comes home with the 2-0, and it's upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes, and Overton just doesn't quite look like he has it so far today.
Yeah, that first pitch was an absolute bomb to dead center field. Not much we can do about that in center field by Skinner. So able to get a first strikeout in the last at bat against Sweeney. So looking to get fight back here, maybe get a second one, but falling behind early to the batter.
3-0 is low and in, ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk to Robert Curbelo, which puts runners on first and second with 1 out, sets up a double play opportunity for the Tom Sox. That'll bring up Bryce Safrowich, who is 0 for 2 today, struck out and grounded out to third.
Yeah, if you're Overton, you certainly don't want to give up a 4-pitch walk there, but as you mentioned, now that does set up the double play, which would get him out of the inning here. So they got out of it in the 4th by getting a double play, a nice 6-4-3 to help out the pitcher Santala. So no, Overton is certainly looking for a double dipping, if you call it.
First pitch to Safrowich finds the strike zone, no balls and 1 strike.
Great job there at probably Safrowich probably taken there as the previous at bat was a 4-0 walk. So great job to just get a pitch over the strike zone, and now it becomes a little bit harder. Safrowich might become a little more aggressive. So let's see who wins this battle.
Infield at double play depth, outfield straight up. The 0-1. Outside, 1-1. After that home run, Connor Hardigan, first pitch swinging, almost left the yard to left field. So he sent Castillo way back, 1 hop the wall. Went into second base with a double. It's now first and second, 1 out. Top of the 6th inning, 5-1 Tom Sox lead. No Overton in a bit of trouble, and this one's hit hard on the ground to third. Bennett fields, steps on the bag. Long throw across the diamond is in time. A double play. Pierce Bennett, a 5 unassisted, 3 double play, ends the 6th inning. So Noah Overton works around a leadoff home run and strands a runner on base. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Tom Sox still hold a 5-1 lead. Braylon Skinner to get things going for the Tom Sox here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They hold a 5-1 lead over the Harrisonburg Turks as Matt Kalari back out there once again. It's his 3rd inning of work. The first pitch to Braylon Skinner is hit in the air to right field, right at Hardigan. Takes 1 step in and puts it away. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, if you're Kalori, you can't ask for a much better start than that. But now he's facing Pierce Bennett, who is 0 for 2 on the day. 0 for 3. 0 for 2. I was correct. Had an RBI back in the 4th inning on a sacrifice fly. Scored the 5th run of the game, and then scored after getting on base because of an error in the 2nd.
As you mentioned, Pierce Bennett. First pitch to him downstairs, 1-0. Jack Hurley waits on deck. He came in last inning for Logan Amos as a defensive replacement. The 1-0. Misses, but I'm not entirely sure where. 2 balls and no strikes now to the Tom Sox leadoff hitter.
And Pierce Bennett, one of the original Tom Sox members from this season, him and Cole Foster have been here since the beginning.
He rips this one to left field, but going over and putting this one away is Peyton Crispin for the second out of the inning. So Bennett once again hits the ball hard to left field, but not rewarded with a hit. And with 2 outs, nobody on base, Jack Hurley comes in for the Tom Sox. So Amos's day ends as he goes 1 for 3, doubled and drove in a run in the second. That'll bring up Jack Hurley. Hurley is .229 on the season. He's 8 for 35, no home runs, 6 RBIs. And he bats 2 outs, nobody on base, bottom of the 6th inning in a 5-1 game. Tom Sox have the lead. Bats from the left side. And the first pitch, he swings and fouls it off third base side, 0-1.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, a couple Tom Sox with some high strikeout rates. Jack Hurley up at the plate here, 16 Ks and just 35 at bats, so almost 50% on the year. So certainly looking to break out of that against this pitcher for the Turks, Kalori here.
0-1. Got him looking silly there as he chases a pitch low and outside. No balls and 2 strikes on the Virginia Tech Hokie.
And one thing I've noticed from Hurley is extreme aggression, as we just saw swinging at a pitch low and away there, and that may contribute to his high strikeout rate. Is he's always willing to swing at a pitch that's just out of the strike zone.
Down in the count, 0-2. Misses outside, tried to get him to chase a fastball off the black. Does not bite. 1 ball and 2 strikes now on Hurley. He's playing right field now and bats from the left side of the plate. Holds the bat on his shoulder with the slightly open stance. Awaits a 1-2. Checks his swing on a changeup outside. Evens the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. If he would reach, it'd be Victor Castillo. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. So Hurley K's to end the inning, and the Tom Sox go down 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 6th. And as we head to the 7th, it's 5-1. Tom Sox lead. After just 1 inning, Coach Corey Kohler decides to take Noah Overton out, and he brings in another national champion, Parker Stinnett from Mississippi State. Stinnett, this is only his 2nd appearance with the Tom Sox. His first one came back July 10th. He went an inning and 2/3 against the Rebels and got the save in an 11-3 win.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts in that outing. So 5 batters, excuse me, yeah, he got 5 batters out, 3 of them strikeouts. So 60% so far in the year. Let's see if he can do the same against the Turks. A little bit of too long now for a save as we're in the 7th, but looking to keep the lead where it is, get a hold for his second outing of the year here as he hopes to keep the lead right where it is, 5-1, top of the 7th.
Stinnett at Mississippi State had a 2.41 ERA in 18 2/3 innings. Had 31 strikeouts in those 18 2/3 innings, so he was a fixture out of the pen for the Bulldogs and helped them to get to that national championship. Pitched against Texas in the semifinals in the game that they lost. And he'll face Frederick Walter to lead things off, but he wants to talk to RJ Ochoa first.
And that's what's so nice about the Valley Baseball League is you do get some really impressive talents, as we have recently later on in the season with our couple of kids from NC State, and as you mentioned, the few players that we've recently obtained from Mississippi State, the national champions. So unfortunately, we don't get to see them for as long, considering they're off in Omaha, but still great to see them here at Crutchfield Park in Charlottesville.
So Stinnett making his first appearance at Crutchfield Park. It'll be 8-9-1 for the Turks, who trail 5-1, and the first pitch is a fastball that misses low and away, 1-0. So Overton, only 1 inning, and kind of struggled in that inning. Gave up a leadoff home run. So 1-0, foul back, 1-1. Wound up going 1 inning, 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. But did do a good job at the end of the inning. Worked out of what could have been even more trouble. Had runners on first and second, 1 out, and got a double play ball off the bat of Bryce Safrowich. 1-1 is high, 2-1.
Yeah, as we were mentioning before, Overton in his 1 inning did get into some early trouble, but a great job of getting that double play. We were talking about how, hey, if he could just roll a double play here, he could end the inning right where it is, and that's exactly what he got. So great job at limiting the base runners here and limiting the damage there to just a solo shot.
2-1, blows a fastball right past Walter, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Walter digs in here for his 3rd at-bat in the top of the 7th. He's 1 for 2. Signaled his last time up and flew out to right in the 2nd. 2-2 to him is swung on and missed. Fastball blew it right past him, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Great life on the fastball for Parker Stinnett, his first at-bat. As he blows 2 of them past Frederick Walter, and with 1 out, nobody on, it'll bring up the center fielder, Clay Lockett. Lockett 0 for 1 today, struck out looking in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. Was wiped out on a fielder's choice at second base, though. First pitch, absolute paint on the outside corner, 0-1.
It is the first time I'm seeing Stinnett so far this season. Tom Sox in general, I've seen him, but I have not been able to witness him. And great job so far. As I mentioned, high strikeout guy has shown that so far with the first strikeout of the inning. The previous batter, Walter.
The 0-1 is swung on and tapped slowly right back to Stinnett on the mound, who fields and goes on to first base. And very quickly, it's 2 up and 2 down for Parker Stinnett. Now bring up the top of the order, Carlos Marte, who's 0 for 3 today. 5-1 Tom Sox lead, top of the 7th inning. Game, decent pace to it so far. So we approach the 2-hour mark here, 2 outs, top of the 7th. Nobody on base. Infield and outfield both straight up for Carlos Marte, and first pitch upstairs, 1 ball and no strikes. Stinnett, you mentioned the high strikeouts. He had 3 in that inning in 2/3 against Newmarket on the 10th. Had 31 in 18 2/3 as a Bulldog. The 1-0 outside, 2-0. He also pitched against UVA in the College World Series, and he went an inning in the 3rd. Gave up 2 hits, no runs, a walk and a strikeout in that outing. The 2-0, line to right center field. That ball's going to get down, and split the gap and roll to the wall. Marte stumbles going around first, and that's going to prevent him from going to second base. What looked like a surefire double results in only a single as Marte tripped around the first base bag. There's a runner on first base now, 2 outs in the top of the 7th for Peyton Crispin in a 5-1 ball game.
Yeah, if you're the Turks or if you're specifically Carlos Marte, you cannot be affording to make that mistake here. Still down 4 runs, looking to make a comeback against the strongest team in your division. Any way you can get men in scoring position, you need that. And unfortunately, slipping there, not much you can do about it. But now instead of a man in scoring position, just a man at first here with 2 gone against what has appeared to be a very strong pitcher so far in Stinnett.
So Peyton Crispin ready on lefty matchup. First pitch, fastball right by him, 0-1. Stinnett is 0 for 3 so far, reached on an error, lined out to right, and struck out in his 3 trips to the plate. The 0-1 off the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike, went with something a little bit softer there. Stinnett peers in, has his sign, comes set at the letters. Checks the runner at first, now kicks and deals the 1-1. Hit on the ground to first, fielded on 1 hop by Cesiri. Steps on the bag himself and retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. They leave a man. As we head to the bottom of the 7th, it's time to stretch. Still 5-1 Tom Sox. Castillo, Cesiri, and Isert due up to face Matt Kalari, who is once again back out there for the Harrisonburg Turks. Tom Sox have a 5-1 lead here, bottom of the 7th inning. Thanks so much for spending your evening with us. I'm Zach Lambert, joined by my broadcast partner, Dylan Castaigne. Tom Sox last night clinched the regular season VBL South title, a 15-1 win. First pitch to Castillo, outside, 1-0. Tonight, not as many runs, but still good pitching from the Tom Sox. Had 4 pitchers out there so far in the first 7 innings as the 1-0 finds his own, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And I think what may be the most impressive stat so far for the Tom Sox pitching staff is through 7 innings, they've stranded 8 runners. So they've done a great job of, even if they let guys on, keeping them right where they're at and not letting them cross the plate.
1-1 pitch is downstairs. 2 balls and a strike here to Victor Castillo, who is 0 for 2 today. Drew a walk in the first. 2-1. 3-1. Almost cashed in an RBI single in the second, but a great play at second base by Carlos Marte to leap up and grab a hard-hit line drive. And he struck out looking back in the 4th. The 3-1 is swung on and hit in the air right field. Hardigan could not see it at first. He must have lost it in the lights and then broke in on the ball, but it was too late. It drops in for A softly hit single for Victor Castillo, and the leadoff runners aboard for the Tom Sox here in the top of the 7th as they look to expand on their 5-1 lead.
And with that, Castillo gets his first hit of the game and his first hit as a Tom Sock in Crutchfield Park. He has been here, as we mentioned earlier, with the Covington Lumberjacks. But a great job there, and as we've said time and time again, you don't always have to hit the ball hard, just hit it where they ain't. And a great job there of dotting the ball right into shallow right field for his first hit of the game, the first hit of the inning, and now the Tom Sox look to add some insurance.
Adam Cesari steps up now, and the first pitch to him was on the outside corner, no balls and a strike. Cesari is 1 for 2 today. Bounced out to second, hit by a pitch and singled. As Sweeney holds Castillo on at first base. The 0-1. Foul tip, no balls and 2 strikes. Castillo is a threat to run over at first base. Great speed for the Tom Sox left fielder today.
And if you're the Tom Sox here, you cannot give up just yet. Obviously, you still have a 4-run lead, and hopefully that should be enough with the way the pitching staff has been rolling so far tonight. But you can never have too much insurance as they look to secure another win against the Harrisonburg Turks tonight.
0-2 is a fastball off the outside edge. 1-2. Castillo over there on first base with 13 steals for Covington this season, but none yet for the Tom Sox. He did steal 2 bags in the All-Star game, though, as he was selected as an All-Star as a member of the Covington Lumberjacks. The 1-2 just misses off the outside edge. A confident take there by Adam Cesari. And when you're seeing the ball like he has been lately, you can take those pitches with the utmost confidence. And runs the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes now on the Wake Forest Demon Deacon with Eddie Eisert waiting on deck.
And going back to Castillo, he was doing very well with the Lumberjacks before their season got canceled, batting .313 and 10 RBI, so definitely deserving that All-Star spot.
Castillo runs from first base. The pitch swung on and missed. Strike 3. Throw down to second is not in time. So Cesari strikes out swinging, but Castillo swipes second base. It's his first steal as a member of the Tom Sox. And the strikeout works almost like a sacrifice as there's a runner in scoring position now at second base with 1 out for Eddie Eisert. Garrett Spikes has grabbed the bat off the bench, and he stands on deck now as he's going to hit for the designated hitter, Wyatt Langford. But as for right now, it's Eddie Eisert at the dish. 5-1 Tom Sox lead, bottom of the 7th. They look to add on. Castillo stands on second. Kalari peers in, now has his sign. Working from the first base side of the rubber. Deals the first pitch. Eisert swings and hits a line drive through the hole on the left side of the infield into left field. A base hit. Castillo rounding third. The throw to the plate, not in time. Eisert trying to go to second on the throw, and he's cut down on a strong throw by McNeely, but he does pick up an RBI single, and the Tom Sox extend their lead. It's 6-1 now in the bottom of the 7th. So a single and then a 2-6 put out of Eisert for the second out of the inning, but he does pick up an RBI, and that'll bring up Garrett Spikes as he pinch hits for Wyatt Langford.
Yeah, Garrett Spikes was named as an alternate for the All-Star game this Sunday in Harrisonburg, so having a good first half of the season, looking to maintain that here down the home stretch. So one of the more consistent bats in the Tom Sox lineup, done a great job. Great designated hitter, as that's what he's doing right now, replacing Wyatt Langford, another reliable, long-time Tom Sox here. So let's see if he can bring in possibly another RBI, if he can go deep here. Definitely is able to.
First pitch swinging, and he lines this ball into left field. That ball's down just inside the line for a base hit, and Spikes hard turnaround first. He's digging for second, and he gets there. A hustle double from Garrett Spikes with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th, and another runner in scoring position for the Tom Sox as they look to tack on another run. They already lead at 6-1.
Yeah, great show of speed there and base running aggressiveness by Spikes there to leg out what was just a bloop single to left, right on the line in left field as a hustle double, and a great job there. Now the Tom Sox have a man in scoring position with 2 gone for Ochoa.
Ochoa comes in to this game so far 0 for 1. He's drawn a pair of walks and struck out once. He's also scored a run. Stands in from the right side in the first pitch in the dirt. 1 ball and no strikes. Ochoa rocking the Orange helmet, long white pants, white batting gloves, black barrel on his bat with the tan handle. A 1-0 is upstairs, 2-0.
As you mentioned, the orange helmet there for Ochoa. One thing I've really loved about the Valley Baseball League this season is that players are allowed and actually have to wear their college helmets and their college gear. I know that's a thing this season because of COVID, but personally I think it's something that stays in the long term because I think it adds a little bit of flair, a little bit of personality to the season.
2-0, low, 3-0. And it kind of reminds me almost of the All-Star game, not as much this year, but in years past where players would don the jerseys of the teams that they're on. This year, obviously, the more uniform jerseys. The 3-0, he's swinging, and he swings through a fastball. It's 3 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I think it's just a great way. The Valley Baseball League, has obviously such great ties to the players' home colleges. So it's a great way to represent both the team you're playing for the summer and the team you play during the school year. So it's a great way to just connect the two parts of the player over the summer here in the Valley Baseball League.
Kalari comes home with the 3-1. Swung on and missed, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. If the inning would continue, it'd be Cam Guidry, ready for his first at-bat of the day. He stands on deck. It's a 6-1 Tom Sox lead. They've already got 1 run across here in the bottom of the 7th. They've got another runner out there on second base. It's Garrett Spikes who pinch hit and softly lined the ball into left field and hustled into second base for a 2-out double. R.J. Ochoa is at the plate looking to knock him in. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Infield straight up, outfield straight up. Kalari, set, looks at Spikes. Long look, now comes home with the payoff pitch, and it's ripped into left field. You can forget about this one, long gone. R.J. Ochoa for the 2nd straight game leaves the yard, and it's 8-1 Tom Sox.
Wow, a great swing there by Ochoa. As we mentioned, he's already brought in a couple of RBIs in his short season with the Tom Sox, and a great job there to extend this Tom Sox lead here as he's able to bring across Garrett Spikes for a 2-run home run. And like we mentioned earlier, the Tom Sox are great at scoring runs in bunches, and they do that once again here, putting up a 3 spot so far in the inning. So still more time for Cam Guidry, but a great at-bat and a great cut there by R.J. Ochoa.
An absolute bomb into left field by R.J. Ochoa, no doubt about that one. Flips the bat after he hit that one, and on contact, you just knew that ball was gone. All Crispin could do was turn and watch that one fly. It's 8-1 Tom Sox now, bottom of the 7th, and Cam Guidry steps in for his first at-bat of the day. The Georgia Bulldog is first pitch swinging and pulls one foul down the third base line, 0-1.
It'll be hard for Guidry to follow that one up. Has yet to hit his first home run of the year, more of a slapstick kind of guy. Very, very good speed threat on the base paths, but it'll be hard to follow up that monster of a home run, as you mentioned, by Ochoa.
0-1 to Guidry, swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes, and Guidry comes in at 237. You mentioned no home runs, 8 RBIs. Speedster, he swiped 6 bags, has only been caught once. Working quickly, the 0-2, swing and a miss, struck him out. So Kalari bounces back after the home run and strikes out Guidry. But the Tom Sox tack on 3 more, thanks in large part to a 2-run bomb by R.J. Ochoa. And as we head to the top of the 8th inning, it's all Tom Sox, 8-1 here at Crutchfield Park. Parker Stinnett back out there for the Tom Sox here in the top of the 8th as they hold a 8-1 lead over the Harrisonburg Turks, but that's one of the only positions that remains the same for the Tom Sox this inning as Zach Lemus comes into the game. He comes in for Pierce Bennett, plays second base. Eddie Eisert moves from second to third, and Will Safford comes in for Victor Castillo. He's out in left field now. So, first pitch from Stinnett is a great breaking ball, finds the inside corner. No balls and a strike to Logan McNeely. So now, the new defensive lineup for the Tom Sox, Eisert at third, Guidry at short, Lemus at second, Cesari still at first. The 0-1, swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes. And then from right to left, it's Hurley, Skinner, and Safford. And then Ochoa still in catching, and Parker Stinnett still doing the pitching, and he's ahead of Logan McNeely, no balls and 2 strikes. He goes from the full windup and delivers. Inside edge, strike 3 call, ring him up. A great fastball there from Parker Stinnett, paints the inside edge, and there's 1 out here in the top of the 8th.
Yeah, as you mentioned, great job hitting the corner there for Stinnett. Done a great job so far. Already his 3rd K in just an inning and a third of work. So, as we mentioned when he was warming up, high strikeout guy out of Mississippi State, and we've certainly seen that so far in his first couple innings.
Connor Hardigan up to bat now. He doubled his last time up. First pitch to him. Fastball misses high, 1-0.
And for Coach Corey Kohler, this 7-run lead, now he can make some more, as we've seen, defensive changes, get more guys into the batting lineup, get some guys some chances. So hopefully they can maintain that lead here, even with the substitutions.
1-0 is popped up, foul behind home plate, out of play over our heads in the press box. And it evens the count, 1 ball and 1 strike.
And now if you're Stinnett, you're coming out in the 8th inning to a much different scenario. Now you have a 7-run lead as opposed to just a 4-run lead before. So a lot more of a cushion here to work with. So you can be a little more aggressive, and he's certainly taken advantage of that so far.
Some more paint there from Stinnett as he finds the outside edge with a good fastball. It's 1-2 now on Connor Hardigan. You mentioned the double his last at-bat. Other than that, he's not done much. Grounded out to the pitcher and grounded into a double play. And put out the sword. A great fastball up and in. Gets Connor Hardigan swinging. He tried to check it but could not. 2 strikeouts in the inning now, and there's 2 outs, nobody on for Jordan Sweeney. So Jordan Sweeney, he's 1 for 3, doubled in the 4th. Bounced out to third his first time up and struck out his last time up. Takes the first pitch in there, no balls and a strike. Good pitch at the knees.
Again, Sweeney searching to be the first Turk this inning to put a ball in play. 2 quick strikeouts, making quick work of the first 2 hitters for Stinnett on the mound.
The 0-1, great breaking ball, finds the inside corner. No balls and 2 strikes. He winds, deals the 0-2. Just off the outside edge, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It was.
And that pitch would have been called a strike. It would have been an immaculate inning.
And that pitch did not miss by much there for Stinnett.
1-2, swing and a miss. Another beautiful breaking ball there from Parker Stinnett, and he strikes out the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left. We're going to the home half of the 8th inning. It's all Tom Sox, 8-1. Braylon Skinner will lead things off in the home half of the 8th inning against new pitcher for the Harrisonburg Turks. It's Brett Whiteman.
Yeah, good outing there for Solari. Or not a good outing, but a consistent outing, able to throw 4 innings and at least eat up some innings for the Turks here as they look at what might be a lost effort here, down 8-1 in the bottom of the 8th. For Kalari, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned, only 1 walk, which is nice, and 5 strikeouts.
Skinner, first pitch swinging, and he fouls this one away. Third base side, no balls and a strike.
And for Kalari there, the exclamation point of the night for him was that 2-run home run back last inning by R.J. Ochoa that put the Tom Sox up 8-1. So not the greatest night for him, but, still a couple more games to get through before we head to the postseason to right the ship.
0-1 to Skinner. Hit up the middle on the ground, and it gets through into center field for a base hit. Skinner, hard turn at first base, but opts to stay there. So leadoff single for Braylon Skinner. It's his second hit of the day. And another leadoff base runner for the Tom Sox. That's back to the top of the order. And now Zach Lemus is up to bat as he came in as a defensive replacement for Pierce Bennett last inning. So Brett Whiteman, he has been one of the best arms out of the bullpen for this Turks team. This is his 7th appearance. He's pitched to the tune of a .71 ERA in 12 2/3 innings, 13 strikeouts. 2-1 record. Last outing, though, was all the way back on June 30th. He pitched against these same Tom Sox, winning the inning in 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout.
Yeah, and if you're Whiteman here, you're looking to keep this lead, or this deficit, right where it is, trailing 8-1 as they are here in the bottom of the 8th, giving up the first base runner to Skinner. But just looking to keep that deficit where it is and just eat up some innings here as we look to close out this game.
Zach Lemus, first pitch swinging, hits this one on the ground, foul third base side. Lemus, 125 on the season. He's just 1 for 8. No home runs, no RBIs. Another new addition. Another former Sandjack player for Coach Kohler. It's 8-1 Tom Sox, bottom of the 8th. 3 runs would end this ball game. 0-1, up and in, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, that's something I didn't think about is now post this All-Star break, now we have to worry about the mercy rule. I guess if you're the Tom Sox, you can look forward to the mercy rule in this situation. They need 3 more runs, and unfortunately they can't get it here on this one swing of a bat, but still an inning to do it.
Skinner running from first, pitch taken low, ball throw down to second, not nearly in time. And Braylon Skinner swipes second base, and a fancy play behind second base by the shortstop Safrowicz to keep that ball from getting into center field. It got past Marte on another short hop throw, and Safrowicz snared it with his bare hand and kept Skinner at second. So Skinner swipes the bag. Now there's a runner in scoring position for Zach Lemus, and counts 2 balls and 1 strike. Whiteman comes set at the letters, checks the runner, now comes home. 2-1 is popped up foul behind home plate, out of play. Count runs even, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And as we mentioned time and time again this season, almost like a broken record, these Sox are aggressive on the base paths. We're seeing it again there by Braylon Skinner getting his first stolen base of the afternoon, or night I should say. So these Tom Sox are not afraid to steal. Even if they're up 8-1 in the bottom of the 8th, they are aggressive on the base paths.
2-2 is in the dirt, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Zach Lemus. Runner on second base, nobody out here, bottom half of the 8th inning. James Vaughn is up and throwing in the pen. There's also another righty up and loosening out there. Might be Preston Allen. Skinner breaks for third, pitches in the dirt, ball 4, and no throw to third base from McNeely. So another stolen base for Braylon Skinner, and a walk for Zach Lemus, and there's runners on the corners. Nobody out for the Tom Sox.
I could think of a certain coach that manages a team in Chicago that would not be too happy with these stolen bases here, up 8-1, but Tom Sox are aggressive through and through here, and it'll be up to Jack Hurley here to bring across the 9th run for the Tom Sox here in the bottom of the 8th.
So Jack Hurley batting from the left side, infield at double play depth. Third baseman Walter is up on the corner. First pitch, and it hits Jack Hurley right behind the knee, and he goes down. He's up and limping this one off, and that'll load the bases, but Hurley will take a long, slow stroll down to first base. Coach Kohler not happy in the Tom Sox dugout. as Hurley gets drilled, but he stands on first base now. That moves Lemus to second base, and it loads the bases for Will Safford.
Safford waiting for the conversation between home plate umpire Tony Carrilli and Corey Kohler to end here. I think Kohler took offense to that hit by pitch there, as the Sox are up 7 runs here.
So still a little bit of chatter going as Will Safford will come up to bat, the LSU Tiger, with the bases loaded, and Safford has had a bit of a rough go of it so far with the Tom Sox. He's 4 for 36, hitting 111, but plenty of speed at the plate.
And it looks like the home plate umpire Carrilli is officially warning both dugouts. So it looks like Corey Kohler got what he wanted.
Well, Coach Kohler is not happy. So Tom Sox do not have a chance to retaliate, and he's going to come out and have a chat with Tony Carrilli. And a very short chat. Looks like Coach Kohler's satisfied with what he's been told. So bases loaded, nobody out for Will Safford. It's an 8-1 Tom Sox lead, bottom half of the 8th inning, as they look for mercy rule victories in back-to-back days.
And I noticed that the normal third base coach, is Coach Corey Kohler, but he's in the dugout. And it appears that our first base coach right now is catcher Garrick Ebel, making his coaching debut. You know, maybe one day he'll make it big, and we can all say we were here for his debut. So it's a fun night at the ballpark. We see some players making some coaching decisions here.
Entire infield playing back for 2. First pitch to Safford is high, ball 1. And whether Ebel decides to go into coaching or not after he's done playing, he actually, fun fact, wants to go and be on the PGA Tour after he's done with his baseball days. So maybe if that doesn't work out, goes into coaching. He's got plenty of options. Safford takes a 1-0 outside, 2 balls and no strikes, and Whiteman just not really dialed in right now.
Yeah, Whiteman already not having a too great of an outing, and then the time where he was just sitting there waiting for the home plate umpire and Coach Corey Kohler to talk out this issue could definitely harm him even more here.
2-0 is low and in. 3 balls and no strikes as Safford is way up in the count. His first at-bat of the ballgame. He came in the top half of the inning for Victor Castillo, who finished the day 1 for 3 with a run scored.
And Safford, as we mentioned, batting only 111 this season. But hey, if you can get an extra RBI here without having to swing the bat, I'm sure he'll take it.
3-0 swinging, and he swings through it. 3 balls and a strike. Safford does have 5 RBIs. He's drawn 12 walks. So he's still doing a decent job of getting on base. And a 3-1. Misses outside, I think. Regardless, it's ball 4, and it walks in a run. Bases still loaded. It's now 9-1 Tom Sox as Braylon Skinner touches home plate to give Will Safford an RBI. And it's the second time a Tom Sox has drawn a walk and gotten an RBI today.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Will Safford not doing too great hitting the ball this season. 111, his 6th RBI there, and he's batting just 111, but his on-base percentage is .360, and it's even higher now with that walk here. So great job at getting on the base paths, even if they're not coming through solid contact.
So Adam Cecere now, bases loaded, nobody out, 9-1 Tom Sox lead. Infield still playing back for 2. First pitch finds the inside corner, no balls and a strike.
And if you're Cecere here, a double would end the game via the mercy rule that we've discussed so many times tonight. So don't need to go yard, just need to bring across 2 runs here, and the game will be officially over.
Whiteman peers in, now set at the letters. Here's the 0-1. That one's in the dirt, and another nice stop by McNeely, who's having a really solid night behind the plate, stopping balls. Hasn't been that successful throwing out runners, but doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him, preventing wild pitches. Regardless, the count is 1-1 on Adam Cecere.
Yeah, like you mentioned, McNeely doing a great job blocking behind the plate, but it's just so hard to throw out these Tom Sox runners. So even with a surefire catcher back there behind the dish like McNeely, it's hard to get any caught stealings.
Adam Cecere swinging for the fences on that one. Comes up with nothing. It's a ball and 2 strikes now. Cecere 1 for 3 so far today. Singled in the 5th. Hit by a pitch in the 3rd. Struck out his last time up. Winning run on second base. 9-1 Tom Sox, bottom 8. Bases are loaded, nobody out. The lefty waits for the 1-2, and he hits this one into left center field. That ball's down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Holding at third base is Jack Hurley. It's 10-1 Tom Sox after an RBI single, and the bases are still loaded. Nobody out, and that'll bring up Eddie Eisert.
And Eisert here with the chance to, I guess this is technically walk us off here, if you can bring across one of the base runners and bring us into their second mercy roll this week, which would be impressive for the Tom Sox batting lineup. And good base running there by Jack Hurley to freeze on the pitch that was lined just over the head of the shortstop, Safrowicz, which could have been the game-winning run, but playing a little more conservative. But hey, only no one gone here, so the Tom Sox only need 1 run to clinch the game, and they got a lot of outs to work with.
So Logan McNeely is out to chat with Ben Whiteman as there's action down in the Turks bullpen. Not sure if they're stalling for time or what, but McNeely is done with his chat with Whiteman. He comes back to behind home plate, and Eddie Eisert gets ready to dig in as we're just 1 run away from the Tom Sox second straight mercy rule victory.
Yeah, if you're the Tom Sox, you're really appreciative of the VVL for adding this new rule stating that any team winning by 10 runs or more, in the 7th inning or later, the game is officially called off. So looking for the chance here to get their second straight, as you mentioned.
It's 10-1. Bases are still loaded. Nobody out. 2 runs already in. The first pitch to Eisert's bottom of the strike zone. No balls and a strike. Eisert is 2 for 4 today. Couple of singles. Scored a run. Drove in a run as well in his last at-bat. Third baseman Walter is up. Everybody else in the infield is back. The 0-1. It hit Eisert, and that'll do it. So the Charlottesville Tom Sox making the most of the Valley Baseball League's new mercy rule. Eddie Eisert, a walk-off hit by pitch. The Sox score 3 in the bottom of the 8th and win 11-1, their second straight mercy rule victory.
That might be the first walk-off hit by pitch in the 8th inning that I've ever seen. But a great game for the Tom Sox. We came in talking about their proficient offense, and they showed it again here, winning 11-1 in just 8 innings. Great job by the pitching staff, headlined by Garrett Payne, making his Tom Sox debut. Did a great job, and his relief pitchers did exactly what they needed. Only 1 earned run coming off of that solo shot back earlier in the game. So great job by the staff, even better job by the offense, and Tom Sox are hot, looking to keep this rolling as they head towards the postseason.
Tom Sox outscoring their opponents 26-2 over the last 2 nights as they look to stay hot as the postseason's right around the corner. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us. For Dylan Castaigne, I'm Zach Lambert. Tom Sox win in a mercy rule 11-1.